Well, hey there. I've had a few requests on teaching fellow teachers how to tutor kids online. It seems a little overwhelming when you're just thinking about it, like what do I even do with a student online? If they're not in person, there's no way that I can teach them. That's not true. So I'm going to show you a couple things that I do in my tutoring business that helps me tutor kids, elementary age kids, in 30-minute sessions a couple times a week. And we've been doing similar activities all summer. And I've seen their reading and their writing grow exponentially just from these few activities that I've incorporated into my tutoring sessions. So let's get started. First, I'm going to show you my favorite website. So this is Reading A to Z. And if your school doesn't have a membership to this, I think you can get one on your own. And if you're going to start your own tutoring business, it's honestly worth the money because you have access to probably thousands of books at your fingertips. And chances are you could get a membership through your school. So I know I have one and I'm able to use it that way. The first thing I do after I have assessed a child, knowing what reading level we need to start at, is I go find a book, usually one level above where they tested. That way I'm challenging them, and also we have a new way to look at harder words and decoding text and that sort of thing. So we're pushing them. So let's say my reader was a level A1. So I would go ahead and go to level B and start them there and find a book. I recommend that, especially for those earlier readers, that you as the teacher choose the book. I would let kids choose the book initially thinking, oh, that'll be a fun way to have them be more involved, but a lot of times it just wastes time. And if parents are paying you, you kind of need to get to the point. And a lot of times the text that they pick might not be a just right fit for them at that time. So it just makes more sense for the teacher to pick. We're going to go with All By Myself. So you go ahead and you click on the book and then scroll down a little bit. And the way to project it better on your screen is to click projectable. Another thing that I do for parents is I will email them. I will download the single-sided book and I will email the parent the book so that they can go ahead and print it. And so they have a physical copy at home. And so that child is practicing for the entire week. Especially if we're only working 1 to 2 times a week, it's imperative that they keep the practice going on their own. And I found that the kids are usually really excited to read the book to their parents after they've practiced so hard with me. So it's kind of a nice nighttime routine that they can incorporate. So anyways, you'll go back to projectable and pull the book up so it's bigger. And while you're sharing the screen, they can follow along with you at first when you're giving directions. And in another YouTube video, which I can link in the description of this, I taught how to teach guided reading. So just like a guided reading group, a one-on-one tutoring session is going to have all the same nuts and bolts. Usually with primary kids, I'm starting with a picture walk. So we look through the pictures before we even attempt the words, talk about what's happening. After we've gone through all the pictures and talked about that, we go through and find the sight words, or sometimes they're called no excuse words. That list of words that kids in K1, 2 should have mastered by the end of whatever grade they're in, so that reading kind of clicks for them. So we talk about the sight words and then we go through and we read. One thing you can do is you can take your annotation tool and go in and make a dot under every word, just like you would do in person, especially for those emergent readers who are learning how to be a reader. So that if they're adding in an extra word, you can go back and say, oh, how many dots were there? Okay, let's tap that out and see. So that's the way that I teach reading on Zoom with my one-on-one tutoring clients. Another thing that I think you can do in a 30-minute session is some kind of word work, and you might want to incorporate that at the beginning before you start reading, or you could do it at the end. It just kind of depends. I usually go for the beginning, so it kind of, especially with those K1, 2 kids that are working on sight words, it gets them primed and ready. But if they're more advanced than that, then you could start working on different types of word work, and there's lots of activities you can find for that. I know Reading A to Z has some materials that you can use. They have different worksheets and games, and you can do all of that on the computer. All you have to do is just project it on your screen and then use the tools to annotate or write. The student doesn't have as many capabilities, and I wouldn't recommend giving them the host sharing because it's hard to get that back. I don't even know if you can get that back once you've done that. And if they're goofy at all, then they might try to take over. So not that you have to be controlling or demanding with it, but I just think that you being in control of the session actually gets the work done. I'm a big fan of using flashcards, so those are good to hold up on the screen. You can see them, but if you want to take it more digital, I can show you another thing that I do for word work. So this is a first grade list of sight words that I made for one of the guys that I'm tutoring right now. This is also in my Teachers Pay Teachers store. So if you're looking for something like this, I'll put the link in the description box as well. And the cool thing about this product that I've made is I have 50 of the most common first grade words, and then I've made 25 editable slides at the end. So you can cater to the specific need of whatever student, your kids at school. These words work great for kindergartners who are advanced or second graders that need a little remediation. So they're great for K1 too. I'll just show you, we go through the slides and I wait for them to read the word. If they don't read it within 5 seconds, then I say it and then we come back to it. So that's important, coming back to the words and then kind of taking note of the words that they're struggling with. So then maybe you can have a repetition day where maybe there's 5 words that they're really hung up on. You could put 10 words in that are quick for them and then throw in the 5 that they're struggling with and just keep circling back until they kind of master them. But anyways, this is what this looks like. Goes through all 50 words like we talked about until you get to the end. This font is a KG font. I put that in the product. They are downloadable for free, but if you use it in a product, then you have to pay the creator of the font. But here's where there would be a text box and you can change the word that goes in there. So I think if you're a teacher and you're working online from home this year, or even if you're teaching in class, like now is the perfect time to start your own tutoring business. Don't be afraid of it. You don't need to go to people's houses to tutor. In fact, this summer, I've had many clients approach me about tutoring online. And if you just get familiar with Zoom and reading A to Z and some word work activities, you're set. And if you teach a specific content area, then you could do things in that content area. You can look at standards and decide which grade level the kid is working on and what you could work with them on. Make it a project-based, have a reading response journal. There's a couple of things that you could do every session to keep it fun. It goes by really quickly. So don't doubt yourself. Every teacher wants to make more money. Am I right? Like we're always looking for ways to make more money. And instead of mowing people's grass or walking people's dogs, things that take a lot of time, that take you away from your home and that we're not doing right now because of the current virus situation, why can't you just start tutoring from home? I will say if you're trying to get a client at first, you could do this method. Ask a former student and ask their parents to tutor them and say, in exchange for my tutoring services, would you be willing to write a testimonial for me at the end? So then when you're to the steps of turning this side hustle into a legit business, you as the business owner can have testimonials, proof of your work, that you are reputable, you do great service. At that point, you should be getting them from every client that you work from. And anybody you're successful with, ask for a testimonial and save it. Put it up on your website when you get to that point. I hope this video was helpful. I hope that you'll be excited about starting your own tutoring business. It'll give you something to look forward to. Wouldn't it be great to make $1,000 extra a month tutoring from the comfort of your own home? You can do it. I will also link in the description box. I have a free guide for the first 10 steps to starting your own online tutoring business. It walks you through everything you need to know to get started. And I think that it will be a very valuable resource if this is the path you want to go down. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you will subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up so that I can keep making more. And also follow me on Instagram at Literacy Fundamentals and we can connect that way. I share a lot of tutoring tips and I do a lot of Instagram stories and just kind of give you a sneak peek into my day-to-day life and keep it lighthearted and fun. Thanks again for watching and I hope that you will start your own tutoring business today.